The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. We're up 26 points on the S&P cash. That's off about 10 points, 20, 30 minutes ago? Wasn't that long. I'm not looking at the minute chart. But was looking at the volume, and the volume was incredibly light up there. I've been looking for some kind of intraday reversal out here. This market is just not that strong, I think, to hold this up. Of course, the stick of dynamite was lit this morning. We had a little bit better earnings, but I think we'll talk more about that as the show progresses. To me, Mario Draghi, Super Mario, basically was saying something I don't think that he can back up, and that is that he's got a ton of cash to throw more at the markets. And while you can print anything you want, the problem comes to be there's one little nagging little thing out there, and it's called Forex. And, of course, he's done absolutely nothing. The market rallied on it, thinking it was getting huge amounts of cash soon, but didn't really say he was, just thought that we'd have to reevaluate. Didn't even say it, just hinted at it, and that's all it took to run a lot. But, of course, what really happened was that we had the rip of a lifetime, and right now we're at 96.29 on the dollar index. And this does one of two things. Either makes him a liar or makes Janet Yellen a liar. And I suspect by the end of the day, the market will have evaluated that. If he pushes out that money, the dollar index goes to 100 in a heartbeat. And, of course, if he doesn't do it and she raises rates, dollar index goes to 100 in a heartbeat. We are sitting or actually, I wouldn't even say it. We are crawling on the edge of a razor blade, falling from one side to the other. And the market is probably bipolar, not knowing exactly what to do. He thought originally, man, more cash, that's great. Now I think the second part of the whole thing comes in here, which is, oh, no, that means that she can't raise rates. If she raises rates, that dollar will absolutely fly, crushing all the stock market. So, the whole thing was, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Everybody got together in the Pacific Rim, sang Kumbaya, said we wouldn't do anything to really mess with the exchange rates in Asia, England, Europe, America. I think they just went out the door. But also, everybody is so hungry. It's kind of like everybody's just dying for any kind of news that would help anybody out. Now, the big problem comes to be that, at least in the next week, we are teeing up for companies, not so much tonight, but over the next week and a half, we're going to have a lot of companies that are going to come out. And you know what they're going to say? Dollar index, dollar index, dollar index. They're going to be pointing fingers up and down and around. And what are they going to be pointing at? They're going to be pointing at the almighty dollar and saying, the dollar made me do it. The dollar made me do it. But right now, I think if you're betting against the dollar, it will, in the end, make you holler. One of these days, I'm just going to do an entire cat in the hat kind of rhyme. Try to do it the entire show and drive everybody nuts. 2.7 billion shares as we start the show. So the volume is not bad, but I suspect that what we saw was a lot of a last hurrah out here. Could the market go higher? It could, but I tell you what, you're already looking at all these companies that are reporting beating earnings that have been massively moved down. If you pretty much believe what's going on in this market, and the S&P is the arbiter of that, we're now paying somewhere around 20 or 21 to earnings of a PE of 21 or so. And that would be based on any kind of forward-looking guidance because, of course, each quarter they move it back down. Half these companies are looking at earnings that are way below a year or 2 years ago. And, oh, they beat. Well, you know, I can put a limbo bar on the top of the house and go underneath it any day. So I think we've got a lot of stuff going on. Markets go up and markets go down. They don't listen to me. But I do think we continue to have a market here that is going to extremes, not knowing what the Fed or the EU or everybody else is going to do. In days like today, it is like that great James, what's that? James, Baby James. Somebody will think of it in the that. Question of the day, is this kind of a blow-off? I think it could actually be a blow-off. We'll have to watch the end of the day. But if we close back under something like 2038 on the S&P cash, we've got a pretty nice sign that that is problematic at best. Even with the volume out here, I would not think that we aren't going to have a fairly decent pullback. Anyway, you can give me a call. James Taylor, thank you. James Taylor wrote a famous song, I've Seen Fire and I've Seen Rain, and that kind of really describes the market to me today. The story about him is going in and out of mental institutions in the mid-'70s, and, of course, long before we had any of the decent drugs we have now. And I don't mean crack. I mean psychotropic drugs, I think is what they call them. But, you know, he'd see days that were just absolutely gorgeous. There was nothing you could do to get him down. And the next day, there was nothing you could do to get him out of bed. And he was ready to die. And that is, you know, we've got a market that is truly bipolar out here. But I suspect we're probably going to pull back to 2038. And that will give us at least the answer, I suspect, the short term as to whether or not this market wants to go higher or lower. In the meantime, it's time to get this party started. And that's with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Yeah, it may be a little too loud for me. Those chemicals are good for a person. Probably worse to kill yourself, though. What else do we have out here? On this day in 1962, a televised speech of extraordinary magnitude. President John F. Kennedy announces the U.S. spy planes have discovered Soviet missile bases in Cuba. These missile sites under construction but nearly completion house medium-range missiles capable of striking a number of major cities in the United States, including Washington, D.C. Kennedy announced that he was ordering a naval quarantine of Cuba to prevent the Soviet ships from transporting any more offensive weapons to the island, and explained the United States would not tolerate the existence of missile sites currently in place. Kind of very interesting times back there. And, of course, the hunt for Red October, kind of loosely based on a sub-commander that was trying to go nuts and shoot a nuclear torpedo into a bunch of our ships. The two people underneath him would not turn the key, and he may have been one of the guys that has saved, actually, a true single person, or two people, actually, that saved the world. The president made it clear that America would not stop short of military action to end what he called a clandestine, reckless, and provocative threat to world peace. Of course, you know, Russia had really gotten paranoid, kind of like every other third world dictatorship, just a little less of a dictatorship over there. Same kind of thing with Putin. But you can't trust anybody, and you slowly become more and more paranoid, and you start believing all kinds of things that are not true. But Russia, what can you say? If you want to find a country full of the worst messed up white people in the world, probably not a country more than Russia, where people are drunks and sick and mentally ill than Russia. But I don't know what else you can say. Okay, what else do we have going on? Probably the big news will be after the bell tonight, and that's Align Technology. We've got Alphabet, which used to be Google, Altera. I think this is the last earnings by themselves, isn't it, before they become part of Intel? Amazon, Athena Health, Boyd Gaming, Capital One, Juniper Networks, Microsoft. And Microsoft was up today, and I thought, man, they may have put everything already in this stock that it was going to get. It's up 3% already. And normally the thing doesn't move more than 4% on earnings. So to me, you've got 3/4 of that in there, trading out at 48.66. I love the company. I just think that there is the possibility for it to come a little short this quarter. They may guide up, but I could see the thing dropping $1 or $1.50 on earnings and maybe pick that up next quarter. Pandora Media, are those people still in business? Haven't they gone out of business yet? Pulte Group actually was this morning, and they've been hammered. We'll talk about, is that in my list of stuff? Pulte? I'll have to add them to my list out here. I don't see them, of movers. Pulte, isn't it? Pulte Group, PHM. And what do we get with them? I'll have to take them out of my list. Yeah, off 9%. Even with the decent numbers for housing out here, dropped the chalupa. QLogic, Synaptics, and VeriSign. The other company, or at least companies I think that may have some downside risk, is Alphabet, i.e. Google. The reason why is over the summer, the biggest new app on Apple phones, of course, ended up being ad blockers. And, of course, Google, the biggest sellers of ads. Somebody in the den brought up that Facebook is also eating their lunch. That could be true, but from the people I talk to, they're spending a whole lot less time on Facebook. And my friends' kids say that they're spending a whole lot less time on Facebook. So to me, the bigger risk, I think, certainly looks to me like Google and just ad blockers and what they've done over the last 2 or 3 months. Maybe dollar index, maybe all the issues they're going through with antitrust in Europe. But that one also looked a little questionable to me. The rest of them really don't have an idea. But at least those two have the possibility, as they say on Wall Street, to whiff. That is, to come short of the glory of the trading gods and be punished the next day and even in after-hours action. We will be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And a comment from our engineer. None of those chemicals are good for a person. He's talking about James Taylor, who actually said many times that lithium saved his life. And it's not a horrible, it's more of an element than a drug, but just a little bit of lithium helped him out and got him on the straight and narrow. He's been pretty good for about 30 years. But we've got that. Anyway, 2044 on the S&P cash, 2.84 billion shares as we start. And what else do we have going on out here? The only news article I thought that was really interesting, of course, was NASDAQ has bought Second Market, if you're unfamiliar with them. This is a exchange where you can sell stocks that are not public yet. It is a private market. And very interesting that NASDAQ's going to get into this business because it certainly looks like none of these stocks are coming to market anytime soon now. The evaluations are ridiculously high. And it reminds me of a lot of people that just keep trading stuff back and forth and get the evaluation super high and then try to get them out the door. My guess is with the push out of Ferrari that there isn't a lot here. And to tell you the truth, it's probably a very good thing for the tech industry. The reason why is if you were stuck in a lot of these stocks with no easy way of selling them back and forth, you may have to ride them all the way to the bottom if the markets turn sour on you. And a lot of these folks, a lot of these venture capitalists have thrown huge amounts of money into companies that have massive evaluations right now. and they may just want to take the cash that they can get, other than wait for a lot of these things to fall off. I'd say maybe 10%, maybe 5% of these companies, maybe probably 10% of these unicorns, those are stocks with valuations already in excess of $1 billion, will be out. But probably good for the NASDAQ, actually. They should make some fairly decent money, and I don't think there's a lot of regulations, so they can probably charge whatever they want, and buck a share or whatever. But interesting nonetheless. Wanted to get to stocks fairly quickly today, do some previews of some of the stocks that are moving. What else do we have going on out here? VIB, others. Take a look. Okay, I'm looking at a bunch of stuff just to see how it's acting. The VIB, I've been looking at this. Yesterday really made me think that maybe we had the possibility of an exhaustion move in the IBB. Not a lot of, movement in BIB, or BIB. So let's take a quick look at the IBB. Of course, it had more news coming out on Valiant. It is one of the big movers out here today. It's off 21 bucks again, which is about 18%. So not a whole more to add than that. An interesting thought, and it is and does prevail on Wall Street. So I'll bring this up before the break on Valiant, VRX. And it's called, inside baseball term, is the cockroach theory. And this is what most people have been bringing up today. It may not be illegal. It may not even be wrong, but they do not like Valiant's way of putting everything together in these kind of off-the-books pharmacies. And this is pretty much how Wall Street acts. If they find one thing like this in bookkeeping, they just assume that there's others. And that goes back to cockroach theory, which is if you see one cockroach, there are more. You're just seeing the one of them, but the bugs will be everywhere. This is kind of coming back and trying to challenge yesterday's lows. But basically what you have out here is many on Wall Street saying, this whole thing stinks, may not be illegal, may not be anybody going to jail, but guess what? If there's one of these, a lot of times there's more. And they may not be illegal. They may just be really, really funny accounting. Maybe they're illegal, who knows? But cockroach theory, a big thing on Wall Street. And that's why you see action like you saw yesterday. That is, you shoot first and ask questions later when it comes to accounting on Wall Street. No one wants to be the last person standing when the music stops, because, of course, there won't be anybody on the opposite side of that. We'll be back in a minute and go through the rest of the stocks.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And trading out at 2044 on the S&P cash, 2.92 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. We have this coming in from Jamie in Green Bay. He says, I would not go along this market right here. I believe the market has no fear. You can buy now at your own risk, but eventually you'll be saying tisk, tisk, tisk. If you have more Dr. Seuss rhymes, send them to path@tfnn.com. We got a chart that he wants to look at. Before that, we've got somebody from the den, Mr. JNJ. PayPal, I don't know what the real question on this is other than the fact, yes, it's up here with very light volume up against the September 25th high that had 12 million shares. We've gotten into it. Now, what's the best day out here? 9 million shares. And it's kind of gone sideways today, this 5 million shares, as it turtles its way higher. And they had earnings, so it should be interesting nonetheless. But not a great deal of movement out there. Take a bigger look at here, maybe at it. Come on, what's going on, mister? Is that one? Is that really? There we go. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. I mean, you'd never tested the August 24th low, 19 million shares on the day. You got into it 30 cents higher with 12 million shares, so you get your bounce out of here. But that would probably signal more of a trading range right around that. And in fact, you could use the August 25th high that had 15 million shares as we go through it with 5.3 million so far today. So not a lot there. Back to Jamie in Green Bay, MCK. MCK, take a quick look at it. McKesson, the 160 low from August 24th. Well, you're breaking that low with lighter volume so far today, 2.1 million shares compared to 3.1 million shares for the October 2nd low. But I'm seeing a lot of stocks do this. We talked about this back in August in the energy field, and that was these stocks would come down, volume would be light, and they would just continue down even through the previous lows. And eventually the volume did come in, but, you know, the direction, I use volume, but direction eventually you have to say null on, and this thing blew through it. I think there's you could easily see 3.1 million shares before the end of the day. So I would say better chance than not that you get pretty close to that 160. But before then, you're going to have the gap there at 176, 177. But you have a nice gap out there at 161, 163. When we look at those going back, and where do those go back? 160 to 162. That's the April 11th, 2014 low, and the January 13th, 2014 low. You can go back and look in there and see those gaps develop, and that's what that hit on August 24th. So that's probably fairly decent support, and that's where your target would be if the wheels fall off the wagon out here. Oh, and the Dr. Seuss things are just flowing in. Maybe I'll get a chance to get to some of them before the end of the day. What else do we have out here? Okay, up a couple of points on the S&P cash, 2046, 2.96 billion shares. So let's take a look at some others. Let's see what else we have out here that I was looking through. Of course, eBay came out with earnings, actually fairly decent. There is a life after PayPal. And we actually look at this good volume against the previous September 3rd high that had 12 million shares. So, you know, with the split there, it's going to be kind of tough to figure out exactly where this goes. But you got a lot of volume back in here in these days, and it is lower, so you might still have a little bit of resistance on it. Another stock that is up is CTXS, Citrix Systems, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, Citrix. An actual breakout. Folks, we have a breakout, a sighting of an actual breakout here today, and that is higher volume than the August 19th high, $78.42 with 2.3 million shares. This is breaking out and holding it. This is the 4.4 million shares already today. And if we go back and look at it, not a bad looking chart. And it's got literally everything you want. A little bit of a reversal yesterday and a huge ramp up and blowout today. TXN. Quickly. What do we have here? Up 10% on the day. Beat estimates by 9 cents. Beat on revenues, guided up. Inline revenues, price target raised at FBR Capital, and some other ones that I've never heard of. Now, this is just back into its gap down that occurred. Let's take a look at this. That gap happened on April 23rd with 23 million shares. We're back and filling that gap today with about 15 million shares. And, of course, Texas Instruments is a little different than most of the semiconductors that we talk about in the fact that they do a great deal of business in discrete parts, and a little bit different than what we're talking about. It's not like Intel that makes a big processor that sells for $200 or $400 or $500. They sell a lot of little chips that do things like latches and counters and timers and all the glue that puts stuff together, but doesn't cost a lot. A lot of these chips in quantities can cost 50 cents or a quarter. Some of them $2 or $5, but they tend to be fairly inexpensive. They do make more expensive chips too, But for the most part, Texas Instruments kind of your grandfather's semiconductor company. But people still have to have that glue to put stuff together. And apparently they were doing very well and maybe caught a lot of people off the sides. UHF, it's off 11% today. UHS, take a quick look at this guy. Universal Health Systems looks to me like it's getting ready to go back down to $95 where this gap occurred November. Last time it tested it was November 7th, $95.63. 2.9 million shares. We already have 2.8 million shares today. The only other volume day out here that could hold this thing would have been the April 1st low with 3.4 million shares. I suspect we're going to get that today too. The massive failure on this today would suggest that we are probably going to continue down to 95 on it. VMI up 10%. A lot of this stuff all over the place. VMI. And what do we have? Valmont Industries, VMI, nice day and fairly significant volume. $1.39 per share, including non-recurring items, 3% better. The consensus revenues fell, though. Ugh. So not a good sign, although they did do well in that. This thing's got a hold at 107.72 from October 9th, but doesn't have much room to roam. There's this gap up here at about 115, 116. It comes back from the, July 23rd gap down that happened on 737,000 shares. It's not a huge hurdle. What else do we have out here? The big stinker of the day is CYH. It had a bad hair day. All you got to say is off 30%. Let's see if there's anything in this chart when you go back to the rest of it. Well, it went right back to the October 26, 2012 low and blew through that with volume. So see if there's anything else out here. Well, your next level back down on that, probably take back to the $17 level. Let's get the headline on this one. Community health system rocked on lower guidance. Hospital woes continue. Giant earnings miss. Why are stock services companies plunging today? Everything that you need to know. Anyway, nothing new in that saying, but yeah, you've got this thing's blown apart. You got $15 all set up there. And let's see if there's anything else. Cabela's last on my list of movers for today. Now this blew apart, and it kind of interesting because I know a lot of people buy a lot of stuff, but boy, retail is hurting, and it doesn't matter if you're in this. It blew through the December 19th, 2012 lows. That was 38.44. It gapped over that. That was the last major spike down in here. We're back into the consolidation area that went from mid 2012 back to February of 2012, and we're back into that whole area right now. Cabela's, the energy, I mean, coming back from March 23rd, this thing's done nothing but go down. I don't know what else you can say about it. Gun sales down, somebody says in the den, CAB, 40% gun sales, ammo shortages. Don't know. I don't see that much. I've been in them before. I don't see a lot of gun sales going on. I see a lot of people buying fishing equipment and stuff. Maybe that's more of it, lower margin. Maybe gun sales are the big profits. Don't know. Don't know the business well enough. Do know this, though. This thing blew out the December 19th low of 2012, and there's only lower out here, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Let's go into some of the stuff that's making news. Well, what else did I want to take a look at here before we got out the door? JBL. We talked about how they should be doing okay. Wanted to see back in here a little bit of a reversal as this thing basically came right back up to the gap and rejected it. Needed 8 million shares in the last few days. It had been in the 3 million range. just kind of going sideways out here. My guess, back to this gap up from about 19.50 to 21 bucks. And what else do we have out here? Kite. Take a quick look at that. Of course, you can give me an email at path@tfnn.com if you would like to. You can also call me at 877-927-6648. Haven't had anybody call me lately, but we'll do that. Site Kite Pharma. This one's kind of interesting. It's a little very light volume as it's going up, and a nice little doji out here today. The September 21st high, it's 67.28, got to 70 bucks over the last couple of days, but volume had been anemic with a high of about 850,000 shares in those days. You had 1.4 million shares on the 19th, but 954,000 shares on Monday or Tuesday, yeah. Yesterday, 851,000 today, a little less than 500,000 on a doji. So maybe seeing some more weakness in some of those stocks. What else do we have? ATR, Aptar. Don't know much about this company. Don't know much about history. Don't know much about geography. I do know that the August 17th, 2015 high at $70.34 had 380,000 shares. Peaked through it today with 172,000 shares. And looks like it's running into some fairly decent resistance. What else is out here? Eversource Energy. Another one out here that looks to me like it's trying to break its August 20th high that had 1.8 million shares. Today with 661,000 shares. Energy's not all that exciting. You didn't really have any kind of high volume day here in the last 4 or 5 trading days, as it did come into that high. But you got kind of a nice trading range out here from about 52 bucks to $45. GT, Goodyear Tire and Rubber. This is where the rubber meets the road. On June 1st, 2015, 4.9 million shares tried to go through it on August 18th with 3.1 million shares. Yesterday, what did we have? 2.6 million shares, a little bit of reversal out here today. And bigger trading range from about 32 bucks down to probably that September 29th low at 27.99. We've got one time for one more. During the break here, before the break, HCP. And this one's kind of very interesting to me. Not enough meat on the bone, but pretty good indication this thing's going to have problems. Gap down with fairly significant volume of 8.6 million shares back on the 24th of August. Came back into it with 5.4 million shares, rejected it on September 18th. We're back into it today with 2 million shares. And this is pretty much how you get all the reversal back up to these gaps. And then the volume kind of dries out. And then you set up at least a test of those reversal days or the lows that haven't been tested. In this case, it would be the September 4th low of $35.37. That had 3.4 million shares. So not that big of a low, but untested just the same. We'll be back for the last segment. And of course, hang on. After this show, we've got Tom O'Brien and a slightly, when you're older, Andy Heck. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed with TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Well, market's trying to rally again. 2051 doesn't seem to care that the dollar index is breaking out. 96.31 on the continuous contract for the dollar as we speak. That's up $1.27. And I guess no one cares. Maybe they'll care after earnings tonight. Maybe they won't. But kind of interesting to see that not even anybody batting an eye on that huge dollar increase. And I guess we'll talk about gold in the next hour. But very interesting to see this market did pull back a little bit. That was about it. And with an hour to go, probably not a big chance of a reversal now before the end of the day. But we'll see. Probably I suspect that people are going to be a little disappointed with earnings tonight because, of course, we had a huge run already. And I don't know what else that could do for you, but we'll keep an eye on it. A couple other stocks that wanted to take a look at was Home Depot. Numbers out from Home Depot or out for housing, not that exciting. Another doji. You've got 3 of them in a row now without a lot of volume right at the previous highs. That previous high is the August 18th, 123.80 at 11 million shares. Danger, Will Robinson. Keep a very close eye on this. 3 dojis with no volume at highs. Typically a warning signal. Of course, this will be time for everybody to go manic on us and say just how higher the stock will go. I'm looking for the upgrades any moment now. We looked at a bunch of other stuff. To Lear Corporation. This one's up testing its highs. Had a high on June 23rd of 118.50 with 1 million shares. Last few days as we're going into that high, it's been trying to spike into it, but 685,000, 600,000 shares yesterday. Today, a little bit more, 700,000 shares, but with all the juice in the market, not getting a lot of love. Of course, talking about not getting love, there's the abandoned love child of energy, natural gas. And, when you look at Cheniere, you got to think, hey, maybe something's happening out here. But not so far, but not a bad-looking chart. Energy has come out in this last leg. We were testing the last couple of days the September 24th low, $46.23. 9.4 million shares yesterday, 2.2 million shares today, 1.8 million shares. Man, you got to think maybe there's something in LNG here. And I mean LNG, Cheniere. But not a bad-looking chart. But I don't know what else you can make out of it other than that. What else do we have out here? Visa. This has been attacking it. Not a lot of love for this on a day where we're up 31 points on the S&P cash. Up a little, but certainly no juice in this one. Well, we have tested the previous July 24th high that had 21 million shares. We did it with 9.9 million shares. Yesterday, 7.3 million shares. Today, 5.9 million shares. Still even hitting yesterday's high. But I don't know what else you can say other than that. Where's the strength coming from in 30 points in the S&P? Kind of hard to say. 3.14 billion shares on the consolidated tape. So volume's at least decent. I was looking for something like 4.2 or 4.5 to really signal that we've got a much higher prices coming. But I don't always get what I want. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. We'll talk to you then. Bye.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.